Hello, welcome back to Heretic Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. Do you feel things changing? I know a lot of us do. I know, probably a majority of people do, whether they're, conscious to it or not, but I don't know. I don't know, too, if it's because there's a Cancer full moon tomorrow, and I'm a Cancer rising. I should look at, where that's happening. Mars is retrograde in Cancer, blah, blah. I don't know. It's just, I feel like there's big decisions coming up, and there's, things that are changing that people want to change, though, whether it's in your life, whether it's, on a bigger scale, I don't know. So anyway, this is the reading for the 5-1 human design profile, the Heretic investigator. If you don't know your human design profile, there's a link in the description below. Okay. There's a link in the description below for you to get your human design body graph, and your profile will be listed on there. Definitely be sure to check out your zodiac sign readings. All of those are up. And of course, and as always, I would absolutely love it if you subscribed to my channel. I really am trying to focus on growth, this year, because otherwise I don't even know what the point is. Since we're being honest with each other. And yeah, so this is a 3-card spread. The first card is your current energy. I've seen that Hierophant a couple times, which is kind of interesting. I mean, we'll see if he comes out. Did I say this already? I don't take the jumpers for this spread, but I love when cards are nice and chatty, though, Anyway, so first card is your current energy, or what's currently surrounding you. The second card is the energy that's leaving or that's no longer serving you. And the third card is the energy that's coming in or that will be available to you. So for our Heretic investigators, for 5-1s, let's get a couple good shuffles in here. What's the message? Okay. All right. Deep breath. Deep breath. So, current energy, the Ace of Wands. Bro, right? What's leaving, the 5 of Swords. Hell yeah. What's coming in, the Moon. Fucking... To clarify the Ace of Wands, we have the Page of Wands. I kind of love that. To clarify the 7 of Swords, or the 5 of Swords, we have the 7 of Swords. Bro, okay. Look at this. To clarify the Moon, we have the 6 of Swords. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even been reading the bottom of the deck, but I feel like we're going to go there. It's the Hermit, 9 of Wands, Queen of Wands, the Chariot, another fucking Cancer. Clearly we're dropping F-bombs in this too. So if you are not a fan of adult language, now would be the time to exit. And thank you for stopping by. Yeah, talk about change, right? This does have an air of excitement though to it, but also it's first of all, let's just look at the cards. Look at, just of course, because it's wands, right? They're going to be more reds, oranges, yellows, fiery, right? But those are, our lower chakras. They're, the solar plexus, the sacral, the root, right? So just a lot of energy coming from those places. And then the other cards are our upper, our third eye, our crown, right? Like, so it's kind of like the throat and the heart chakra, not super duper like represented here, but it's kind of like, getting the two different areas of our lives, our bodies, our energy really succinct. Is that the right word? Because there's been a lot of fucking work that has been going, and it's the mental stuff too. And like that's where a lot of our stuff hides, right? Like just in our minds and our beliefs and our habits and our homeostasis, our ego, whatever, right? Like there's a lot of stuff there that prevents us from taking certain actions, from expressing creativity, from going after our desires, being passionate about something. It's just very interesting. So, current energy, like, we can see here the Ace of Wands and the Page of Wands, which is like pretty much the same-ish energy. Like, we start with the Ace of Wands. That's the spark. That's something new coming in. It's literally like the birthing of an idea is coming to mind, even though that's more like swords, but something like, where do you want to focus your energy on? Maybe even feeling like coming back to life in some capacity. Inviting newness back into your life, even like looking for something new, wanting to get creative in new or different ways, being open to whatever that is, right? Wands are the actions that we take. It's, the motivation behind the actions that we take. This is wanting to take inspired action, which is all solar plexus, sacral root, right? It's like the energy of all of those chakras working together. And then, the Page of Wands is when we already have the Ace of Wands in our hand, right? So it's like literally taking those steps. It is trying things. The Page of Wands is adventurous, almost not even wanting to commit to something, because you just want to try it. See how it feels. See what you get from it. It's like the Ace of Wands being the inspiration and the Page of Wands taking action towards it. Also, though, like in this specific Page of Wands, it feels like leisurely to me is the word that keeps coming up with this card. Because it's actually come out a decent amount of times between the human design readings I've done and the zodiac readings that I've done. But we have, the little dragon here. Little baby dragon. Cute little dragon. Right? This orb also follows like the person through the wands too. So it definitely, it almost kind of feels like divinely guided, or like protected, right? Like you could be receiving assistance from, spirit guides, from past loved ones, from God, whoever it is that you believe in, right? Like when orbs show up, like there's like an oomph there. There's help almost, right? Like being guided in some kind of way. But so I was saying in the Page of Wands, so, this little dragon is growing up here, right? No longer a little baby, unless this wand is huge. But But yeah, so, the Page of Wands to me, it looks leisurely. Like, it looks like engaging in things that you enjoy. And truly, that's it. That's all you need to do. Because too, like they're playing a flute here. And to me, like I always kind of get this feeling of putting out a frequency, because that's, what music is, right? Is a frequency. So it's creating, since they're the one playing the flute, it's creating a frequency. And that frequency that you're creating now is different than it was before. So it's like you are trying to attract different people, different experiences, different, and this is, like at the beginning when I was talking about change, right? Like being at a place where you want to, like change, or recognizing how your own frequency has changed. And again, it would be because, we have the Five of Swords, the Seven of Swords, in the area of what's leaving. It's because you've done a lot of heavy work, whether that's on yourself, whether that's in the people in your life, right? Because on this Five of Swords, there's this figure that's leaving with 3 swords. There's 2 swords in this chick's back. And actually, what is also really effing interesting, people, is that this guy and that guy are the same guy. So let's think on that for a sec. I mean, it doesn't necessarily specifically have to be a guy, but in this, on these cards, it is depicted as a masculine, figure. Crows also represent change. I feel like they're sometimes like associated like with a bad omen, but I don't think so. They're super effing smart. Right? So the Five of Swords, like for me, the Five of Swords is a battle of wits, because there is usually other people involved in the Five of Swords. It's like, conflict, it's competition, it's but it's mental. Right? Like it's strategizing. It's all coming from the headspace. Which interestingly enough too, right? Like in the realm of human design, we do not make decisions from pressure centers, from the head or the root. The head center, ideas, whatever, drop into our consciousness, and then there's that immediate pressure behind it to do something with it. But the thing is, like, we don't even know if it's for us, or if it's for somebody else, or if it's for a later time, or if it's just energy that's passing through, right? Like I always think of, because I have a undefined head center, and I always just, whenever I either start feeling pressure for my head or just overwhelmed mentally, I picture a wine glass, and like in commercials or whatever, they like pour the wine in and it kind of swirls around and then it goes right back out of the cup. Like that's how I picture, because I do feel like I'm visual in some kind of ways. So anyway, like I just imagine like my head being a wine glass. And especially if there is pressure behind it. Same with the root, right? I do have a defined root. So, again, like anytime there is pressure to move forward, it's, allowing that pressure from the head or the root to go through your strategy and authority and see what kicks out from there. So getting familiar with your strategy and authority too, and experimenting with that. So anyway, I know we were talking about the Five of Swords, battle of wits, right? There are usually other people involved. It is a 5, so it is transitionary energy. Let me also point out that we have the 5, 6, and 7 of swords all out here on the table, which is rare. I think like Virgo was a reading where there was swords and pentacles, and each one had like a progression It was like 7, 8, 9 or 8, 9, 10 or something. I don't know. But I'm like, this doesn't happen often or really ever. And when that does happen, we are moving through energy, right? We're not getting stuck in a specific, spot or energy or whatever. So we have this girl that is stabbed in the back by 2 swords, and there's literally a crow sitting on it. And I feel like that crow is saying, I told you so. I don't know, right? Like this crow right here. Told you. Now you have 2 swords sticking out of your back and you're crying. This guy's walking off with 3 swords. Interestingly enough, the 2 of swords is about indecision. Kind of being in like analysis paralysis. The 3 of swords is betrayal, heartbreak. However, though, right, it's swords. So it's how those stories live in our minds. What stories are we attaching to circumstances, to situations, to experiences that is shaping our habits? It's creating our temperament. It's, shifting our personality. It's becoming our ego, right? Like if it is something that is large enough. So the 7 of swords, for me, the 7 of swords is the card of us fooling ourselves. It's like self-sabotage energy. It's also, though, a card of betrayal and trickery and manipulation, because traditionally on the 7 of swords, there's a figure that's tiptoeing out of the enemy camp carrying 7 swords, right? And the whole idea behind that is that by stealing your enemy's swords, 7 people are going to be down swords. So they're handicapped, right? You're manipulating the odds to be in your favor. So to me, like this is saying that again, right? Like you have spent a lot of time and focus on what has been holding you back. If it has been betrayal, if it has been, it's definitely something that's been living in your head. Right? Because again, like going through the filter of our ego, right? Like those are the things that make us who we are. Well, how did you get here, right? Like how did you like become that person? It could, it could be like not engaging with somebody who is trying to manipulate or is trying to take something from you, or whether they're conscious of it or not. I feel like there's something that I'm missing saying. It's almost like really being unfair to yourself. It's like whatever the story is, and it's, Brene Brown calls them gremlins, right? Like the stories that come to mind, especially when something like the Ace of Wands and the Page of Wands comes up. But, like whatever that story is, it's like, it's really been a disservice to you. And it's also fucking lied to you. All this time, there's been this belief about something, right? Like a story that we've attached to ourselves, to our identity, to our personality, to blah, 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 whatever, right? And it's lied to you. And I fucking love that this is in the position of what is leaving, because it's kind of like, regardless of how you feel, like where you're at with this, it's the energy of just being done with it. I'm not giving it any more energy. I'm not hiding from it. I'm not tiptoeing around it. I'm not, going to be in this looping cycle with it. I'm not fighting with it. Whether that's, yourself, that's somebody else, that's, whoever. And what is so cool too is that we have the Moon card and the 6 of Swords. And it's like, it's literally the energy of like, I would rather walk into the unknown. I would rather be uncertain about where I'm heading than stay here and fuck around with this anymore. Because truly all that has done is just suck your life force energy out. However, though, right? Like in clawing out of it, it's almost like you decided that you needed a completely different frequency here. Like instead of trying to tune this thing, I'm like trying to use all these like musical terms. I don't know if this is even accurate, so just roll with me. But instead of trying to tune whatever the Five of Swords and the Seven of Swords is, you're like, I just need a completely different channel. Like I just need a completely different expression, frequency. I know I'm trying to think of like different words other than frequency, but because first of all, like I said, right, like we have the full moon in Cancer actually today when I am putting this out. So I want to say like start now, but it's not even anything like you have to start. It's just like make the decision in your head, especially because that's what the Six of Swords is. The Six of Swords is making a decision to lay down the swords, walking forward. Not to mention, this is like, it's like this moonlight here that they're looking towards. I mean, it could be like the sun coming up. It doesn't look like it though, because this looks like maybe the sun is coming up in the Page of Wands, or even in the Five of Swords, right? Because there's some yellow, some orange kind of peeking in. This is all white light. So it's like setting the intentions from today, if you know, and making that commitment to lay down the swords and shift your mindset forward. Allow yourself to walk into the uncertainty. Allow yourself to, you know, put out a different frequency. Allow yourself to even figure out what that is, if you don't know yet, right? Like allow it to change as often and as frequent as possible until you get there, right? Like the moon is, you know, I also love that the moon is in this position, because usually like when the moon is at the, you know, the end of the reading, it's kind of like what's next isn't even the point. The decision to allow yourself to move forward, to shift your mindset away from this, continue to, you know, have your mindset on this Ace of Wands and the Page of Wands, allow yourself to get excited about something, allow yourself to find joy in something, like mentally make that commitment, and truly the everything will open up for you as it needs to. Like you will be shown the way as you move along, as you know, move forward. Things will be revealed to you, right? I mean, like you might find an interest in things that you didn't even think that you ever would find an interest in. You might try things that you never thought you would try. But again, right, it's like the uncertainty is better than what has been happening over here. And also, you're done with that. We have the Hermit card at the bottom of the deck. Virgo. Healing, going within, being guided by your own hopes and dreams, being guided by your own idea of what your path is, because that is what the Hermit is to me. It is like going within, right? It is getting quiet enough to like hear yourself, your soul, your intuition, your whatever, and trusting that too, right? But it's also understanding that your path is unique to you, and only you can discover what that path is, because they are guided by the Star card. And the Star card is trusting the process. I was saying that with the moon. The Star card is your hopes and dreams. The Star card is manifesting the life that you want into the material plane where we are. The Nine of Wands, putting in the work, right? Like you can do this. It is going to take effort from you, though. It is going to take, like this balance between effort and rest, like making sure that you're taking care of yourself, making sure that you are following, again, your own guidance, not giving up. Warrior energy with the 9 of Wands. It's also too like getting that oomph under you. The Queen of Wands. So we move from the 9 of Wands to the Queen of Wands. And just look at the difference in these two cards. Fighting for it, getting it. Hell yeah, dude. The Queen of Wands is confident, expressive. She knows herself. She trusts herself. Chariot. Moving forward quickly. I also love how, the Hermit and the Chariot are like sandwiching the 9 of Wands and the Queen of Wands, because it's like going on your own path, going within, really fighting for yourself here, right? Finding yourself and literally, like, again, this divine guidance thing. It's like you are going to be exactly where you need to be. Things could move fairly quickly. I mean, you could move if you wanted to, if you wanted to. Also, we have this dark horse and a white horse, and it's like, those two aspects of ourselves working together, because they're both there, right? Like I don't think that we ever get rid of the shadow side. We learn to love it, and we learn to have compassion for it. We learn to make space for it, but we don't succumb to it, right? Like we don't allow it to just totally, completely still, take over our lives. So this is beautiful. This is, I can't imagine ever not doing these readings. And that's really all that I need to know right now. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.